Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome. This is Ghost Story 38, and today I'm bringing you a comic review. Today I'm going to go over the Elseworlds book, Green Lantern, 1001 Emerald Nights, written by Terry Laban, hope I pronounced that properly, and art by Rebecca Guai. This is a mixture of 1001 Nights, or the Arabian Nights, and the mythology of Green Lantern. Our protagonists here on the cover is, this is actually Kyle Rayner, and this is Scheherazade from the story. Here's a look at the back cover. Here's a picture of our Jinn, or Genie, and this version is actually supposed to be Kilowog. And this is the story's version of Hal, who is a fisherman. So you can make plenty of connections with stories there, the Fisherman and the Genie, Aladdin and his wonderful lamp. It starts out like the tale of Scheherazade. Kyle Rayner, or Eban Rayner, as the story calls him, basically was portrayed like the evil king, that women were kidnapped for him and taken at night. Each of them would be dead and he'd take the next wife, but Scheherazade goes to see him after breaking one of the women out. We can see that she does have a Green Lantern ring, so in this reality she is a Green Lantern, but we come to know more of her identity as the end of the book comes out, or comes up. She goes to see Kyle. She basically questions him and talks to him, and she goes to tell him that the Vizier, who in this reality is Sinestro, basically is doing evil in his name. She even says here, "I'm Scheherazade. Listen, Kyle Rayner, you may not be the evil man I thought you'd be, but you're letting great evil be done in your name. And yet there's a chance that you may learn to understand your true duties and become as great a king as your father. Now listen to me, as I will tell you the tale of the fisherman, Hal Jordan." And then basically it goes into his story. He rescues one of the Guardians. And as thanks, he ends up giving him the magic lamp, which is their version of Green Lantern rings. It's like, "I'm a powerful wizard from a far-off place. There long ago, my brother wizards learned to harness the magic of genies, which we kept in lamps. We intended to use the genies for good of the universe, but one of us had an evil nature as well as great skill. He abused our trust to make a lamp more powerful than the others and fled, and intended to use it to enrich himself at the expense of human beings. I was sent to stop him. My mission has come for naught. I want you to take my lamp and continue on with my journey, or my job." And then basically he takes the lamp. This is supposed to be Abin Sur, but it's one of the Guardians. So he saves them, or they scare him off. He summons the lamp, or summons the Jinn, in this case Kilowog. The art's really nice. Guai's art you would be familiar with if you played Magic the Gathering. She did a lot of work on there. And there's also several other references to other Arabian Nights stories. Of course, we have the tale of Scheherazade, the Fisherman and the Genie, and the Jinn, because their version of Hal here starts off as a fisherman. And of course, Aladdin and his wonderful lamp. The Genie turns Hal into a sultan. "Genie, take me to the sultan." "Very well, but if you want to appear in court, you have to dress for the occasion." He's like, "Hal, you could easily become a sultan if you wanted to in your own right, but you possess such great power. And you wouldn't be a worse one." It's like, "I'm only a poor fisherman, my friends. I have neither the right nor the inclination to claim the throne. Nonetheless, it may be worthwhile to go speak to the sultan. Conceivably, he doesn't even know how his officials behave." And he impresses most of the sultan's daughter. This is Princess Katma. A mixture for this is Katma Tui and Carol Ferris. The Vizier is Sinestro, because we see this is the yellow lamp or lantern. He's arrested and thrown in prison. Katma saves him. we see another full shot of the genie here again. And basically he breaks out and fights Sinestro, and all is hunky-dory. Or they all live happily ever after. He ends up marrying the princess, and all is wonderful for a while. And then we basically cut back and forth, because this story is told into arcs. There's the Scheherazade and Kyle Rayner arc, and when she's telling him the story of Hal Jordan. So we know that the Sinestro's not really dead, because he's still around causing trouble for Kyle Rayner and Scheherazade. This is a really beautiful art. There's some nice pieces. We learn, of course, tragedy strikes. The queen is killed, and she dies in his arms from a poisonous snake. The genie cannot bring her back to life. So, in rage, he throws the lamp into the sea. So we get a little reference to Sinbad in one of his voyages. There's demons. Sinestro summons demons to stop Kyle Rayner. Not Kyle, but Hal. The Sinestro, I'm just going to call him Sinestro, he seeks to overthrow the kingdom and become ruler. So Sinestro wrestles the country, Alcazar, from Hal, and he's forced to flee. But yeah, he's like, now I rule. Abin Sur, or the Guardian, however you want to interpret him, he speaks to Hal, basically says, I'm beyond this plane now of reality, and your help is still needed, so I want you to go get the lamp back, but once it's reclaimed by the sea. And there's a little bit of a reference here to Sinbad. He gets a boat, goes out to the ocean. I don't know if the story of Sinbad he ever encountered mermaids, but I'm just saying this is an equivalent of it. It's like there you'll meet mermaids, beach your boat and approach them pretending to be befuddled under their spell, and then you grab one, take one as prisoner, don't get bitten by the fangs. Basically, he goes to see the Old Man of the Sea, which in this reality is Aquaman. They're his version of Arthur Curry. I'm guessing one of these is supposed to be Mira and his daughters. And he's like, you have something of mine, a lamp that was thrown in here. I want it back. He's like, it was tossed out, this is mine. You see, it played a part in the meeting of my wife. It's like sentimental value. Perhaps I should just hand it over. I'd be a liar if I said I refuse it, then don't be a fool. You can have your lamp, but not for free. Basically, he's like, you must do a boon for me, and I'll give this back to you. He's like, don't you have enough gold? It's silver I want. And basically, they have to make a deal. Hal does something for him. He does something, and the old man gives him a lamp back. And so he fights a couple monsters. Hal dresses up as a woman to basically fool these monsters, because on the tree, I'm just going to assume, basically grows silver for them, and they're basically watching over it. It's like, I bet my kingdom, it's been centuries since these monsters have seen a woman. And then he conveniently dresses himself up as a girl. It's like, well, handsome sirs, I'm a princess from far off Fez, and I've been sent here to marry the mightiest one among you. Which is it? As you can see, they fight over her, or him. Yee. Kind of got a little intense there. Body parts are mangled and flying off. Just a few scrapes and bruises is all my sweet, is like claiming your hand. You may still make a husband, but I fear you're no longer much use as a guard. And he basically does as the Old Man of the Sea asks him. It's like a silver apple. Take it back and give me back what is mine. The genie is back. He goes to fight Sinestro to regain control of his kingdom, and he basically defeats Sinestro. But he's like, you can't be you should be powerless against yellow. And he's like, I've overcome that. And that's a reference to Kyle Rayner's ring, which, especially the early version of his ring, that's not immune, that doesn't have the weakness to yellow. He can do anything with it. He's like, my genie, it can't be. It can, my friend. During my travels, I earned a favor from the old man of the sea to make my genie invulnerable to any threat, including yours. So that's the justification for it. He got away once before, but don't let him do it again. And he basically eats him. Or like most of it's like, let me out of here. And he basically just dies. Free to take him prisoner, not kill him. Nor did I intend his death, master, but his fury and frustration were more than his body could bear. It wasn't magic that finally brought him down, it was his own weak heart. And that's how it goes. Kyle finds out about the Sultan's, or not Sultan's, the Vizier and his cronies for what they have done. They've done evil in his name. He seeks to have them arrested and taken them to the dungeon, unaware that his guards were actually working with the Vizier, because you'll see later on in the story that they basically were in cahoots. He even kind of confirms what I said. I'll let that old snake bully me since I was a child, but I'd do is be rid of him. But he basically, it's sort of like a false thing. He's like, he's finally gone. I can rule my kingdom how I see fit now. I'm sure it's been his plan all along, and you wouldn't be the first. For some time now, he's been trying to turn the people against you by killing the girls after they've spent the night with you. Again, that falls back under the story, the first story, the tale of Scheherazade, and how the women are dead after their first night. May my people forgive me, what a fool I've been. There's no time for that. To set things right, you need to live, and you haven't much chance if you remain here. And so they flee and leave. She tells him another story. He tried to go back to ruling. Of course, the loss of his wife, Katma, kind of basically soured him. He spent a lot of time alone by himself, but it was the Vizier's death that led to the most terrible event of all. The demons that we saw earlier in the story basically laid waste to his kingdom. And if you know your Green Lantern history, this is a reference to the destruction of Coast City. They took their revenge. Will not be lonely in hell. Looks like the gorge. If you're familiar with Sinbad, the story of the first voyage of Sinbad, this is the this not Cyclops, but this is the similarity to that first monster Sinbad and his crew encountered. Take me home, Genie, but Master, I can't take you anywhere. Your city's destroyed. Hal's grief is strong in this case. He lost his wife, he lost his country. He's like, bring it back, Genie. I command you to bring it all back. He's like, I can't. Those that have made me have decreed to do it, so take me to them. Master, it would lead an end to both of us. If nothing can be done, all my life is not worth living. I will stake the chance to set things right. The Genie left, and he goes to them. The Guardians are all aware of this, and they bring genies of their own. They ask him to turn away. What you're doing won't change things. This isn't right. This is forbidden. You take this course of action, your life will be changed. It's like, you're wrong. My genie's flaws are gone. My lamp will not bear the flaws of its makers, but it's equal to you. And his genie destroys all the genies together. Hear me, wizards, I ask for justice, nothing more. The laws of fate cannot bend to no one, Hal Jordan. Any more than a single genie can ultimately prevail against the rest. And they basically fights the Guardians, like how Hal did after the destruction and death of Coast City. They fight, there's a massive explosion and a massive fight, seemingly kills Hal, the Djinn, or both genies, and the Guardians, but they're not dead. Neither our genies nor yours could ultimately prevail, but it turns out they're not dead, it just looks like they are. My city is still lying in ruins, all the inhabitants are dead, your fate is still winner in the end, but perhaps not. They basically admit that they kind of had things flawed in the end with the creation of the Yellow Lantern. We tried to stop it and we failed. All would have been lost except for you. Unfortunately, you had to practically destroy us before we showed our gratitude, but it's not too late. Behold, a ring. And then that's how the creation of the Green Lantern ring is made. It formed when the genies imploded and combined all their powers into just one. Take it and do whatever you will. We have not the right to keep you from it any longer. And if you guys paid attention at the beginning of the video and the story itself, you find that Scheherazade has the ring. So if you put two and two together, Scheherazade is the daughter of Hal Jordan. And then he goes back to remake Coast City. Unlike the last time, this time it's permanent, and it wasn't just an illusion that he created in the comics. His wife is brought back to life through the power of magic. So Queen Katma and Hal basically live happily for the rest of their lives. Some really nice art. I have to say, I like the illustration here with Hal and his wife. Especially with the face work, the art on the faces. And then we jump back and forth with Scheherazade and Kyle. Basically, the guards are corrupt, and they're basically making ruin on the townspeople's lives. The Sultan's gone. Forget him, our agents are at work in the market. Gather your troops and declare this palace is mine. Basically, all the guards are making false traitors and criminals of the rest of the citizens, and Kyle is basically trying to put a stop to it. For your information, a revolt is underway against the oppressive Sultan, the oppressive rule of Sultan Al Raynor. He murdered your daughters, and fools rise up and overthrow him. Who would be Sultan then, Captain? You, or maybe these thugs who attacked the market? You dunned us for taxes, and now you want us to help you take power, and you're the fool, and a traitor as well. And then, let's just say things don't go too well there. He's like, what in God's name is going on? And basically the whole town's turned against them, to the palace, and then there's a fight that breaks out with Kyle, Scheherazade, and the guards, and ultimately the Sultan, not Sultan, but the Vizier. The Vizier and Kyle have their fight. Wicked old viper, you should make sure that old Sultan is gone before you crown yourself the new one. Too bad you didn't neglect training me in swordsmanship as you did statecraft. It's like loyal troops are taking command. Let them see that you're still the king. Perhaps the swine would agree to help me. Basically, he's like, either help me out or I will kill you. People of Isafkar, I am Al Raynor, yet your king as the Sultan. And then basically he goes to reveal the Vizier's plans, and he attempts to flee. He doesn't make it to the ledge, and basically then falls for his death. And then we get a sort of like a epilogue into it all. Kyle Raynor's crowned Sultan. And basically he is a good man. Scheherazade, who'd originally intended to kill him, became his queen. Together they ruled wisely and well, that even the illustrious reign of his father seemed poor by comparison. And here's the reality at the very end of it. No one knows how long it took Kyle Rayner to discover his wife's powers, but it's certain he eventually did. The Green City. For it's said that from time to time the ring would transport the royal family a great distance to the fabled Alcazar to visit Scheherazad's parents, Queen Katma and Sultan Hal Jordan. So we do find out that they are well and truly still alive and happy. And that's how the book ends. This was actually a really good story, and one that I'd highly recommend anyone read if you're a fan of the Arabian Nights or the Green Lantern mythos and characters, or just of Elseworlds books in general. This is worth the read. This book came out in 2001. So yeah. My comic shop is sold out on this. I got this copy on eBay, so you might have to check aftermarket sites, or maybe you can check Amazon, or go to your local comic shops in your area and check maybe like the back issue bins or their trades, or your trades section. But all in all, I would highly recommend getting this. And thank you all for watching. If you like this video and want to see more like this, or I tackle other Elseworlds book, comment below and let me know. Until then, I will see you guys next time with another video. So take care. Have a good rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you're at. And peace.